3, 2, 1.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Blade Runner Discussion Group, presented by Pop Culture Mind Freak. Today we have Keith, script doctor, and our good friend Zax. And Zax is also serving as my co-producer on the show by handling the chat. And we're going to be talking today about, well, primarily, I think we're going to be talking about just one subject today, and of course, that is how crazy is fucking Elon Musk? And his name is so close to Eldon. You know, Eldon Tyrell, of course, the main robot manufacturer in Blade Runner, the guy who started it all. And I think Elon wants to be this. And it's horrifying, and it should be horrifying. So I'm going to show the tape. And hey, Martin, what's up, buddy? I'm going to show the tape and or recording. It's no such thing as a tape anymore. What are you in the 80s? So I'm going to show the video of him talking about this very specific subject.
Basically, if you think about what we're doing right now with the cars, Tesla is arguably the world's biggest robotics company because our cars are like semi-sentient robots on wheels. And with the full self-driving computer, essentially the inference engine on the car, which we'll keep evolving obviously, and Dojo, and all of the neural nets recognizing the world, understanding how to navigate through the world, it kind of makes sense to put that onto a humanoid form. We think we'll probably have a prototype sometime next year that basically looks like this. And it's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate through a world built for humans and eliminate dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks. We're setting it such that it is, at a mechanical level, at a physical level, you can run away from it. And most likely overpowered.
But that's serious.
It'll be a light 5 miles an hour. If you can run faster than that, it'll be fine. It's around 5'8", has sort of a screen where the head is for useful information, but it's otherwise basically got the autopilot system in it. So it's got cameras, got 8 cameras, full self-driving computer, and making use of all of the same tools that we use in the car. I mean, things I think that are really hard about having a useful humanoid robot is, can it navigate through the world without being explicitly trained? Without explicit, like, line-by-line instructions. Can you talk to it and say, please pick up that bolt and attach it to the car with that wrench, and it should be able to do that. It should be able to, please go to the store and get me the following groceries. This, I think, will be quite profound, because if you say it like, what is the economy? It is, at the foundation, it is labor. So what happens when there is, no shortage of labor? This is why I think long term that there will need to be universal basic income. essentially in the future, physical work will be a choice. If you want to do it, you can, but you won't need to do it. Yeah.
Let's do that universal income in there real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. And also the fact that
yes,
the one thing that always bothers me about cyberneticists is that they have no idea what artificial intelligence is, because they're what they always describe as simulated intelligence, things that behave like a human being. Artificial intelligence is something that is a byproduct of evolution. It just happens. We don't have a full understanding of it. And
well, exactly.
There's a British kind of like a bursary for, I think it's like $1 million. It was done in the late 70s, and it was basically proved that you can create an artificial intelligence, and no one has been able to claim it because, again, the purposes of it, the parameters cannot be met. Like, for instance, an AI, like the AI software that's being done right now, if you were to try to communicate it through text to spell the conjuncted word shouldn't, but you cannot, but you yourself don't use any of the letters to try and convey that that's the word you're trying to spell, like saying, hey, I'm trying to spell this word, but you can only do it in text form. No AI on the planet will be able to figure that out. A human could, but an AI cannot. And as a result,
it kind of reminds me of a movie I poked fun at. Hey, T-shirt. Hey, Jed. Welcome to the show, guys. It reminds me of the line, where the second Speed movie, and the villain puts in for detonation now.
Yeah.
No computer would fucking understand that. It's now.
Well, not only that,
or
how
now.
many people have tried to print something and the computer says, oh, I can't print it, and it doesn't tell you why? And like, it's anything. It could be like the USB cord's not properly fastened. There's no power running to the printer. It's maybe the printer address is incorrect.
Ink. Yeah.
Yeah. If the computer cannot, I mean, the other part too is also storage capacity. They can't solve for that. So all you have to do is just overload an AI with tons of information, and it doesn't have enough processing space to
pull
function.
a Captain Kirk on it. That's all you got to do.
Well, that's a logic loop. Like, this is a different thing. They have never done a purge or an information overload on a robot. I wrote that in another spec Star Trek script, actually. That was kind of well received, but can never make it because of the people making Star Trek today. But yeah, that's the other part. Memory storage capacity. If you can't create an unlimited storage capacity, then you can't have killer robots, because they'll eventually lock up and cease to function. Because the interesting aspect with all computer programming is that there's a compulsion for input, and it doesn't matter how insignificant it is. And at the same time, the potential for it to be valuable for current AI programs means that they can never delete anything, because they don't know if it could be useful later on. It's part of their computations. So depending on how it stores data and how much data it takes up to store information, an AI framework should be able to be completely used up relatively quickly. I mean, the only way you could actually have one that would be dangerous is if the robot itself knew that it was going to run out of information storage, and then calculated ways to build a more advanced storage system to swap out, and then from there do it again and again and again until it unlocked the unlimited storage function in physical form. Right. So, yeah, weird, right? It's just, but Elon's crazy. Elon's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Elon is, and God damn it, Rebecca. I love you. You're such a sweetheart. You really are.
Rebecca.
Thank you for your super stickers. Yeah, we need to have a dedicated show about here, and I'm thinking about doing it next Friday. And I really let me know if you need to talk after the show, Rebecca. About I would like to see you doing a tattoo, do a live thing on the show. So, but anyway, thank you for the super sticker. And for that super sticker, I've got a little video for you. Let's see. It's not Blade Runner. Oh, wait, no, I got to do the Blade Runner one. I'm sorry.
Yes.
This one of my favorites.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
Suspect? How can it not know what it is?
Commerce is our goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Nice. Hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, I get that one. I made this one. Oh, this one I think Rebecca will like even more.
You're reading a magazine. You come across a full-page nude photo of a girl.
Is this testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
Yeah,
I love that one.
You know, that was actually a pretty that was kind of quite a line for the 1980s to say that.
Hell yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
You know?
was.
I'm sitting there 18 years old going, holy shit, she went there.
Yeah. I mean that was not a something you talked about back in the 80s for sure.
Oh no.
Well, I will do this.
Kind of.
This is me
The bathhouse
watching
was
that
picking
scene.
up then.
This is me watching the scene the first time when the movie opened, the weekend it opened. I didn't get it. And this is me the second time watching. I went
Someone
home
went
and
to
read
the dictionary.
I went to the book, is what I did. I went to the book, and once I understood the character, I just didn't get the movie the first time. I thought it was horrible. I hated it. Oh, it's so dark and depressing, and all he does is kill women.
That's true.
That's all he killed. You know, he couldn't kill Brian James' character, Leon. Leon gets killed by Rachel. And then Roy Batty just fucking dies. So, well, time to die.
Well, I mean,
you know,
that's kind of the thing that I always felt kind of weird with the script in itself is that these replicants are going to die in a matter of days. So what the heck is the point of bringing Harrison Ford's Decker in to retire them? They're going to be dead within the week.
Yeah, no, right? They all have like going to die very quickly.
Yep.
And him hunting him down is just, well, just contain them. Just keep them busy.
You don't even have to contain them. Just they will die on their own. Like we'll find the
Well,
bodies.
they need to try to prevent them from killing other people.
Yeah.
So,
But that's not
somebody
really their
with-
goal. I mean, that's the
somebody
other
with-
part too.
Well, somebody
Right.
with nothing to lose because they're going to die in about 5 days is capable of doing an insanely huge amount of
which is what they were
damage in
doing.
a very
They're
short
killing all
time.
these scientists.
Well,
So
they're
they
all
really,
looking for the cure. They're all looking for a cure for an extension of life, and when they couldn't get it, they were killing the scientists that were telling them they can't be.
yeah,
changed.
exactly. And so I feel the plot should have been containing the problem, not so much stopping it, but containing it. I think that, you know, if they had finished the script the way it was written, it probably would have been a lot better. But it really
Ridley
is.
Scott's not
That
always
is written
a
in
fan
the
of
script.
coherency.
No, he is a visual director. He knows how to tell a visual story.
Oh yeah.
He does not know how to tell a story.
He also
doesn't
knows how to
understand
build
story
great
structure.
effects teams too. I mean, my word,
Oh,
Blade
wait.
Runner's effects still hold up. Like
I didn't realize you disappeared, Keith. There you are. But
Keithinator.
T-shirt, did you see the video of Elon Musk? Because we just played it.
I'd actually heard about it before with him wanting to create artificial intelligence and robots and things. Yeah,
Right.
I'm actually all for that. I am all about the development of artificial intelligence robots and things like that.
Well, here's the fun part. He says you can outrun it, but it's like, no, you can't because you will get tired. That robot will not.
Right.
It'll just keep going.
It will always outrun you.
It's the
Doesn't
little
matter if it's
fucking
going
rabbit
5
with the
miles an
drum.
hour.
It's the drum beating robot. I
Yeah.
mean, rabbit.
It's the Energizer Bunny. It just
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I mean,
it.
okay.
Energizer Bunny.
If you look at human beings, that is what allows us to apex animals is the fact that we have sweat glands. And I mean, I don't care how fast a fucking cheetah is. It can run, it can run, it can run, it can run. But at some point, it's going to get overheated. It's going to have to stop. It's going to have to rest. We're going to still keep being able to go and catch up to it. And then we're going to fuck it up. So
Yeah. Yeah. Keith and I, we had lunch today, by the way. I went to Springfield to wrap up my hard drive. And I got back in time to do the show, but not with enough time to check the hard drive. So I'll check that later. But it was fun hanging out with Keith for lunch with my stepdaughter and his wife, Mel. And all four of us had a really good lunch. We ate at, I forgot the name of the place again. Jose Locos. It was really good. They have the fajita. It really does. If you avoid some of the stuff on the side plate, really is perfect for my diet because I'm on that keto diet. And I'm predicting that I lost 9 pounds this week.
You do look a bit thinner since the last time I've seen you.
Yeah, it's like I lost 26 pounds with the first 3 weeks. From my doctor.
I found him.
Good.
Yeah, you found him.
I found
still,
him too.
because I gave you the information. It's down there, dude. You need to. I think this is a good diet for you.
You getting rid of the 2-liter sodas?
What I'm drinking now is I get to have one caffeinated drink in the morning, so I get to drink a Bang, and that keeps me alert for because I'm training on this other job, and it's just a lot of technical stuff, so I got to stay awake.
Yeah.
It helps me for that, and then for the rest of the day, I just drink Crystal Light water.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, and of course my wife Deanna is absolutely a great camp director on this. She's just like, she'll walk in here with my lunch already prepared. You know, specifically
man, I wish you could
for
have
the
that.
I can't
she
have
does
that,
one thing.
So.
Because men lose weight faster than women and better than women, and it has nothing to do with like gender roles. It has to do with biology, and we burn calories better. And so,
well, we're usually on top. That's why.
No, I will never fucking drink butter coffee again. That was awful.
Butter coffee's good.
I hated it. I fucking hate it. It doesn't taste good to me at all. Just give me black coffee or a black coffee with a little Splenda in it, and I'm happy.
Actually, there's a good keto coffee. It's like Bulletproof. That's really good if you get it for a Keurig, because I survived on that for a long time, and man, it was good.
Hey, Soul Assassin. When I was on the MetaFast diet back in 2000, I'd gained about 100 pounds stressing over raising Zoe, and I lost all of the weight in 45 days.
Wow.
100 pounds. I was just knocking the weight off exercising, because all you were allowed to do is 20-minute walk, but I was a brisk walker back in those days, and got that weight right off me in 45 days. And there was a woman in our group that just hated my guts for some reason because I lost the weight so quickly.
Haters gonna hate.
Bullet coffee. Actually, I've had Bullet coffee, and it's good stuff. I like Black Rifle coffee.
But they've gone woke.
You know, I heard about that. I don't know much about it. Because I like the guys, I like their videos, but
I know
I don't want to deal with them directly because they promised something to a close friend of mine and then didn't follow through with the promise. And I'm like, dude, that is not rangering up, man. That is not cool. You don't promise a fucking Marine something then not deliver.
Yeah, we have a Black Rifle coffee company downtown where I live, so I can go walk on in there and buy right off their shelf if I want. But
I got to tell you, it's good coffee, man. It's really good.
Yeah, their CAF coffee is pretty good, which you know what CAF stands for, right?
Yeah.
Is that from like the cat anus?
Yes, it's caffeinated as fuck.
Caffeinated cat anus.
Not cat related. Caffeinated as fuck.
Oh, because there's coffee beans that go through a cat's digestive system.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's one that
an ocelot or something.
Wasn't there something about bat too?
I think I might have heard about
or
that, but
birds?
I don't know if I've heard about the cat for sure.
I know about the cats, yeah. I don't know about the bats.
But this right here, this is my first caffeinated drink of the day.
Keith, shut up! You're not saying enough.
I'm enjoying listening to you guys.
It's interesting. We're talking about artificial intelligent coffee.
He's fascinated.
Yeah, let's get back because we derailed because we do that. We're friends and we talk about shit. And I enjoy talking about the diet. I'm very proud of what's going on with my wife and me because the only way this would work is as a team.
And Gary, your face has gotten thinner too. So I've noticed.
No, that's the camera.
The face is the last thing you lose. The face Jed, and then the stomach are the last two things you lose from weight.
Jed, are you saying his face was fat before?
Yeah, he was a fat bastard before.
I noticed it before.
I will say this. At the rate he's losing weight, I'll probably be the the massive one of the two of us after a while. So
Yeah,
I know I
get the
need
the
to be
fat
on the
jokes by
ball.
Fat Steven.
I mean, fat, not
I
fat. Steven.
I love Steven, but he's a fake fatty.
He's a fake fat man.
I
big.
I know I need to basically lose about 30, 40 pounds. So
Oh, Mr. Tickle Trunk is here. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hey.
What's up, Trunk?
Hey,
Good to
Trickle
see
Trunk,
you.
what's up,
All you got to
dude?
do.
Awesome
just
one
double
is
the-
here.
Just double
Soul
your walking.
Assassin is here. Holy shit! Who else popped in while I wasn't looking? Well, Stephen Otten too.
Yeah, we got 144 watching, so it's a good crowd.
I get so focused on you guys' beautiful faces that and avatars that I forget to look over at the chat.
Yeah,
I know, and I'm an attractive frog. I know it. So yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I've got
riveting.
a friend of Patrick Parent, who's a close friend of mine from Blade Zone. He's the guy who did the first CG animated spinner, and I have the actual raw files from that. He gave them to me to use whenever I want. The city and everything, great design. And he worked on the Barbie movies, and he worked on Beast Wars. God, he worked on a lot
You
of
worked for
stuff up there in
Mainframe then.
Canada.
Yeah.
And he also did the rail commercials from about 12 to 15 years ago that were CG for Canada. And really great guy. But when I first met him in person up in Seattle, Tacoma, I'm sorry, Tacoma at a convention, he came up and he spoke with this like thick French accent. I said, "Oh, I had no idea you were a faux frog."
Well, I mean, if he
He
wasn't
just
from
looked
actual
at me and he
France,
goes, he's like, "You're lucky I like you very much."
that was more Pepe Le Pew.
Well, he would talk like this here, there, Gary. It was
that's almost like French Acadian, not French Canadian, but
Yeah,
Acadian.
yeah, he's got a very interesting way of speaking. I love the way he talks.
Yeah.
I've had a dream of eventually working with him on a movie, just doing a CG sci-fi. We talked about doing that one I wrote, the Blade Runner Solstice. But then I'm like, okay, we make a Blade Runner fan film that's amazing. All that money, what do we get back? Nothing. It's like, I'd rather just do something original. And I have that one story that's very Blade Runner-esque called The Uncanny Valley.
Just do a
thriller.
comic, Gary. So if you could get the rights to it,
I get, if I don't have to do other work, I'll do comics. But it's exhausting trying to do jobs. I'm talking about even commissions. When I'm getting commissions, it's hard to work on my own stuff. So I want to have the freedom to work on my comics, and I will start putting them out. Beast Wars was dope. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And what did Tickle Trunk say there? Rub your bits on the leg. I could Tickle Trunk. But anyway, getting back to it, basically, one of the things that really freaked me out, not just the odd jokes that he made about being able to outrun them, or overpower them, is the fact that what's this? Is that us?
Yeah.
Yes, that's us.
Yeah. We got right now I
I'm
got
here.
108 viewers watching.
Get the fuck out of here.
I saw 180 at one point.
Yeah, it probably dropped when we stopped talking about that coffee stuff.
Yeah.
Should have gone back to coffee. People were liking that.
Yeah, let's get back to Blade Runner. People don't want to listen to us talk about coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Rebecca, that's cool. But I think that next Friday, I'm thinking of, because like my boss wants to come on. He found out about the show. He's freaked out. Like all these people I work with are freaked out, like going, "You have a Wikipedia page about you." I went, "Yeah, I know." And they're like, "I've never met anybody that had a Wikipedia page about them." I said, "It's not that interesting. It's not that interesting." But they found out like I work in Hollywood and work for doing storyboards and production art and I mean, wait till they find out who the hell you are, Script Doctor. Jesus,
No.
Oh, dude, when they find out what script is, oh
Yeah,
dude.
once we have a world where you can open up and say who you are, I'm looking forward to that day.
You're gonna be like, I don't know who the hell you are.
I will say that Script's a badass. I'm like just saying that right now. So
I concur. Well, I like your avatar. That is cool. That's one of the robots. Now, I don't disagree with T-shirt at all. I think that AI is interesting.
Yep.
I think that making a humanoid form is stupid. Boston Robotics has the right ideas. Four-legged, and their bipeds are designed with a body that actually, has the gyroscopic ability to do that because of the way it's designed. Its legs are more flexible than a human's, and making it more humanoid, like he's showing in the video, is really not practical in any way, shape, or form.
No, it isn't.
And everybody
for a
knows about the
protocol droid.
issues. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Script.
think having AI would be really sexy this way. I mean, it would be so much better if we had robots to take over all of our jobs, wouldn't it?
Monkey Jeebus, what's up, buddy?
The thing is that the corporations will buy all the robots, and then we ourselves can't lease our robots to go for work. we then are out of employment.
And then
By the way,
Script's out of work. He won't
Awesome
even
One
know
says that you're his sexy friend, Script.
Oh, thanks, Awesome One.
I just want an awesome sex robot. That's all I want.
Jed,
No.
Jed, no, Jed, no, no.
That's right, Keith. TMI.
Yeah, when he opens the box, I want somebody to snap a picture. I bet it's a goat.
Oh.
But I think Elon Musk would be far suited to try and build a robot that's more like an astrometric droid from Star Wars than a biped, because we would need good old fixer robots, things that are portable, small, that can fix anything around the house. Or more advanced ones for complex labor.
Yes.
And chase us down in shopping malls and kill us.
It's small. You can kick
Nice reference there, teacher.
Got that one, huh? Yeah.
I love that movie.
Oh yeah.
I love
Actually, didn't they use
It's
some
funny,
of
I
the same
didn't like
robots
the
from
movie
Silent
back in the
Running?
80s.
Yeah.
Oh, Silent Running was great. I love that film.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, when I saw Chopping Mall, I didn't like it. And just kind of but later, it's sort of like The Cure. I hated The Cure in the 80s. I'm like, the guy's a whiny bitch. I didn't like it. But years later, the nostalgia kicked in, and I'm like, fuck, it's a great song.
Kind of like ABBA for many people.
Yeah.
Or the Smiths.
Did you see their new song?
I love that. What's that?
Yeah. Did you see ABBA's new they have 2 new songs.
Do they sound like disco?
They actually sound like ABBA, but I'm like, yeah.
No, that's cool, because ABBA's one of the few bands that are actually still enjoyable for me.
Yeah, I love ABBA.
Hey,
So
when you're able to convert someone like Alice Cooper into a fan, you've done something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cooper loves ABBA, man. Like so.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
I hear he sings Waterloo in the shower.
Man, when I was over there in '77 in Ireland, and that was all they talked about in Ireland. On the telly, it's like, today we're going to be listening to ABBA. ABBA is a great song. It's like, it's a band, not a song. Oh, sorry. God damn it, Kyle.
That's the second half of a joke there.
I kept clicking on it, and he'd click on it. I'm like, stop. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to stop clicking on the chat. And but as I said before, I have trouble keeping up with it, and that's why Zax is here helping.
Bringing up ABBA kind of goes into the discussion that we're having, because eventually, people will just be able to create avatars, whether made up of pixels or actually robots, to actually do things for them, whether it's concerts or acting or whatever. And there are some people out there, I guarantee you right fucking now,
that can hardly wait to buy a fucking Patrick Stewart sex doll.
Ugh.
Yeah, and that's fucking creepy to me. That's creepy.
Like,
He's already
And I guarantee
playing
you
one in
they're
Picard.
a lot
Why
of
do we need
freaks.
another one?
Yeah, I know. He's so
nice one, Scripty.
Script with the
Bang.
singer.
Mic drop.
I know, right?
We turned you into an android. We didn't fix any of your problems. We didn't make you faster, stronger, or anything. We just made you an old robot. So you're gonna die normally anyway. So
Yeah,
fuck
Lee,
you.
Lee Majors got a better deal in the 20th century than Patrick Stewart did in the 20th.
Definitely.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
You know,
Now, I wanted to point something out to Chopping Mall because I want to go back to that before I forget. There are two actors in there that I'm a big fan of. One of them,
Barbara
Garrett Graham.
Crampton.
I fucking love Garrett Graham.
Mhm.
And it was a small part for him, but he's the guy watching the monitors and shit. And then Paul Bartel is
What about Barbara
just
Crampton?
a funny dude. That name means nothing to me.
What? You never watched Reanimator?
Dude,
Was she
Reanimator is
there? I know.
freaking
Look,
awesome.
there's another woman in there, Mary Warnoff. She was in Eating Raoul by Paul Bartel.
Oh, she's a great
Yeah.
actor.
Hot as
Yeah.
fuck.
Great actress. I don't know
I
what
mean,
the hell they call them
a
anymore.
gorgeous lady. But I actually liked when ABBA broke up, and I can't remember her name, the redheaded singer from the band. She went off on her own, and she did that song "Something Going On" with Phil Collins, and I bought that whole album. It's a really good album. Phil Collins produced the whole album.
Mm-hmm. They were talented people, and
Yeah.
I personally think that there are certain individuals that could go on to have careers even past death. I think someone like
I'm sorry, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
I think you could have someone like, say, John Wayne would be interesting to bring back. Marilyn Monroe, most definitely. I think even to a certain extent, someone like and now I've just completely fuzzed in the name. Harrison Ford would be interesting to bring back. But and even Burt Reynolds too.
When he dies, I mean, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of
Reeve as Superman, man. So.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Harrison Ford's
Christopher Reeve.
acting, and there's not a whole lot of difference in his performances, sadly. So I think, I mean, it's already kind of robotic. I mean, he brings life to Indiana Jones. He definitely brings life to that. But I mean, I've seen Firewall, and I've seen Air Force One. I've seen regarding Henry. It's like this.
My plane.
This is not
my plane.
This is not really anything that any other actor can do.
Well, and you know what? I could actually see Bruce Lee come back because
I was going to mention Bruce Lee.
He was a very interesting person to watch, and considering the level of notoriety that he has.
Do we do it as a robot? Because if we can get their DNA, we could clone them.
But they wouldn't be the same person. They're just be the same genetic makeup, but not the memories, not the influences,
none of that
not
would exist.
Not the outcome would not be the same.
Yeah.
Then we got a matrix and we'll plug them in the back of the head and put all that shit in there.
Now here's an interesting point. We're talking about AI, we're talking about robots. Let me bring it back to Blade Runner for a minute. I've read the interviews with Rutger Hauer, rest in peace, sir. He was actually talking about his character of Roy Batty and how a lot of the actions and the things that he said on film, he tried to deliver them in such a way as to where his character was programmed to do it. And the way Rutger actually envisioned Roy Batty was almost more like, an actual physical robot, and less of a synthetic person, which is kind of interesting. Because he would refer back to programmed responses and calculating and things like that. Like, he was having to sort through data, and that's why some of his speech patterns and stuff like that are a little uneven in Blade Runner is because his delivery is deliberately like that, because he was trying to emulate like a combination of a computer processing things and not an organic.
I think that's what a lot of the cast had issue with, because I don't think they were properly informed exactly what a replicant is. Like, is it a machine with human flesh and organs and attributes to it, or is it a clone, or is it a completely artificial thing with just kind of like a skin job on it, or like it was completely up in the air during production. Nobody could give them a definition of it, and I think it later became, it was like they're artificially grown, but also programmed chemically, right? Is that my understanding? Because again, I've seen the movie a few times and read the script, but it doesn't even get 100% in there. Yeah,
I think it is the closest that you have to that line between living being and machine.
Yeah.
Replicants are meant to be right there at that line. And I think that's the best way to really look at it. It's really close. Could easily tip into really, really scary area. Personally, I don't know if I would want people cloned, people that, famous people, actors and stuff. I wouldn't mind a kind of CGI version, a digital version of them, but I wouldn't want them to be cloned, because as Script was saying earlier, to clone someone, you're still missing the valuable details of what made them them. You can't clone, say, the Beatles and expect all four of what you get to be able to do what the Beatles themselves would do given certain circumstances. You could program them with the stuff that they've already done, but they would have none of the experiences that went in that led them to be able to create those particular hits and songs originally. So what you would get would be really almost a programmed response of what you would assume that they could do based on what machines were able to, concoct together. And that's not really the same.
No, it'd be an echo at best.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that you could clone
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. It just shot back up to 121. It was
Maybe there's a power outage.
It went from 12 to 56 to 79, then 80, and then bam, went right up to 121 again.
Dude,
It might be YouTube bots, guys.
That's what I was wondering what's going on, because at one point I was saying that it's been going up and down, up and down. So,
that's weird. I don't get that.
Well,
careful.
Here's the other alternative to the
before.
to the cloning argument for you, Keith. So let's say in 10 years, science has developed the ability to clone your body, except your body to whatever age you want, but it has no brain. And then you get a brain transplant into that new body. So you yourself are now put into a younger body.
I'm glad you brought that up. But continue, because I'm going to pick up right after you leave.
That would be, the more appealing, the more interesting aspect, because now you are, like, say you and your wife, you want to live, another 60 years together. Now you can.
Here's also, though, the weird thing about that. I don't think anyone's ever really thought through the processes when you start making your body younger. And what I mean is that when you look at how humans develop, what our brains and bodies are going through, say when you go from age 10 to age 12 or age 12 to 16. It's the combination of learning new things, still growing in terms of development, in terms of what your brain and body are going through. To put a brain inside of a younger body that is still yet to grow fully might have a lot of also unintended consequences, because we've never really, done that before. I mean, it could cause some problems.
Well, okay, and like Martin Acosta's talking about, the brain degenerates, you'd have dementia. Okay, now a book series that got it right was the Takeshi Kovacs series, which is you guys might know as Altered Carbon.
Yeah,
because their human consciousness is transferred to a stack of wafers, which is basically that's your entire personality, memory, everything else, and
It's
bodies
digitized.
are nothing more than sleeves, cybernetically enhanced, things that you can put your body into or put your mind into and ride around in. Which to me is actually a more interesting version of replicant technology, because now you can vat grow whatever you want to look like, be like, sound like, plus you can cybernetically augment it with all the cool stuff that you want to, and then you just upload your consciousness into it by just jamming a stack of wafers into its head, and there you go.
Yeah, but it's not real consciousness. It's a digital copy of your consciousness. That's the other part that's different. And no, the who said that degenerative stuff there? I can't see him in the chat anymore.
Martin Acosta.
But
yeah,
Martin. But yeah, he's right to a point. But the other part too that and it's funny enough, my sister and mom learned this in nursing school, which is that younger blood, younger bone marrow actually have positive effects on the brain, and actually it's basically like just an organ transplant, if you will. If you put it into a healthier body, it will respond better for it. It's not to say you still won't have dementia, or you still won't have issues with regards to memory and chemical memory, but the rest of the body will be programmed by the brain to heal the brain as well, because that's what naturally happens. So if they say, oh, we got a 22-year-old body and we're like a 70-year-old brain, well, the default function is to make sure that cell repair can happen in the brain, and they got all the other organs, all the bone marrow, everything they need to do that in theory. And they tested out. There's actually a chemical drug called RPI 190, which is a regenerative drug that they've been experimenting with for like 30 years. And it's based off of the same principles of what the immune system does and how the blood platelet system works. And it actually, they thought it would be a potential cure for Alzheimer's, but they realized it doesn't actually save memories. It just helps duplicate existing stuff already there. So if you already lose chemical memory cells, they're gone forever. But the ones that you still have, they'll replicate over and over again, so you'll actually be able to retain those certain ones. So you can get that injection after you are possibly quote unquote diagnosed, because again, there's not a confirmed diagnosis of Alzheimer's, but it only works from that point on. It doesn't go back and restore the stuff you've already lost. And that's one of the things that they had big issues with. And it's still an experimental phase up here in Canada, at least. But yeah, that's what they end up learning. It's really
well, Script, isn't that part of what the brain thing that Elon's doing? Is he even said it would even help bring back memories and stuff you lost or something? But that brain, that neural link that he's doing, because I've been following that. He said that's going to help heal the brain too. So
I mean, you can heal the brain, but what's gone is gone.
Yeah,
like,
I know. That's what I was
yeah.
saying. I was like, how can you bring back things that are gone?
You'd have to have it on record first. Before
yeah. So
I don't know. There is a lot to be explored with this.
And none of us will be alive to see it.
Oh, of course. I'm not planning on making it past a certain age.
That'd be cool, but
I need you to stay around longer, Keith.
Well, we still have yet to write that script for Metropolis. Okay.
Well, yeah, because I want to get your other two buddies on there, because I will register that at the Library of Congress with your names on it. I have no problem doing that.
Oh,
you guys gonna redo Metropolis? That'd be awesome. Like,
no. I mean, this is they had announced that they were going to do something on the order of what had been done with Gotham, and call
Years
it Metropolis.
Ago,
yeah.
Okay.
I and a few buddies of mine found out about it at an event, and inside of about an hour and 20 minutes, we came up with an even better premise than what they had.
Yeah.
And I told Script, and he seemed to like it. So
I do like it. It's great.
It's something that it's the kind of idea that fans could really get into. And if you are a fan of Superman and you've read the comics, or you've seen at least the animated series or anything, this would really be exciting. And even if you're not watching the show and learning the characters, you will absorb knowledge of things that hardcore comic book people know. And it doesn't try to throw that away. It doesn't try to obscure any of that stuff. So again, anyway, getting back to what we should be talking about and what we're here for. It is scary. There's a lot of different things once you start mixing technology and the human mind. I personally do not see us being able to solve a lot of those problems. I think that if you were to have someone, like, for instance, what do you think it would do for someone like a Howard Hughes? What do you think we could do for him to help improve his situation, given what we know he suffered from? Could you actually clone him and make him better? I mean, could we do anything with that? I don't see us being able to help him very much.
You probably couldn't do a lot with, post-traumatic stress disorder, mental disorders. You could probably work with stuff that was actual, like, chemical imbalances and things like that. But actual, like, overlaid trauma on the mind itself, that would require you to literally, like, rewrite portions of someone's brain to write those parts out or erase them somehow, or
And think, though, there are people who have become famous, who have become notable, artists, singers, others, who have suffered trauma. Johnny Cash, Tolkien, others, who that trauma might actually be part of what makes them such great artists.
There is that.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's no way we can really, figure out how that mix works. And again, even the Beatles themselves, many of them had personal issues going back decades, back to when they were younger, that I don't think we could easily help them replicate that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not exactly going to get the same person. You can program in how they reacted in the past, but it's not going to be the same.
You could clone Albert Einstein. You'd never get another Albert Einstein, though.
Yeah.
As much as it would be cool to have Tolkien and Lennon and, like, Einstein back, like, you're not going to have them the way they were.
It's always going to be a little bit off.
We could even bring Kirby back, but it's not going to be the Kirby we know, man.
No, you could bring Kirby, you could bring Lee back, you could bring Kurosawa back.
Yeah, the original Kirby was an actual soldier that punched a Nazi, an actual Nazi.
Yeah.
He was a fake one.
Well, yeah, because he signed up for the war because he was still a comic book artist before the war.
Yeah.
And then he left for what, 2.5, 3 years he served almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then came back and
went back to work wartime myself, and I got to tell you, you never know. The military's going to do with you what they're going to do. Yeah. I stayed stateside for most of it, and then after the war, I got deployed for 2 weeks.
Kirby was infantry. Simon, his partner, was Navy, and I think Stan Lee.
He was National Guard, actually. I think
he was National Guard.
He was never deployed overseas.
National Guard, though, and Reserve are basically referred to as the backdoor draft. The military, what they'll do is they'll deploy Reserve and National Guard to the front, and the regular Army or Marines will be deployed to a different location. It's really kind of like weird the way it did, because I had more friends from Reserve National Guard that were involved in the war than friends that served in active duty Army.
I have a friend that's in the National Guard Reserve right now, and he got sent to one of the forts, and he's like, "You might get sent out." And I was like, well, I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah."
But here's the next backdoor draft, though.
Yeah, I know.
Robots. The fact is, somebody brought it up in the chat earlier, and it's something I've talked ad nauseum about in the past, is that the DoD is always looking for ways. I mean, that's what drones were all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that comes too close to Terminator, and we don't want that future.
Well, if not Terminator,
well,
at
these
least
are
Captain
controlled
Power.
robots. I guarantee you, they won't be AI robots making decisions. They will be designed.
Most people are
Let's
under
be-
the impression that AI is just automatically going to turn on us as soon as it becomes self-aware, when truthfully that's probably not what's going to happen. Most likely AI just won't care about us. It'll be like, I'm thinking on a whole new process level that is beyond you people, and I mean, as long
I
as you
think
don't
one
fuck
of the
with me, I'm
best
fine.
episodes of Star Trek Next Generation that kind of showed that process was when Data had a girlfriend.
That was awesome episode.
And when she said, "When you kissed me, what were you thinking about?" The amount of pressure I could apply to your lips. And it was, I think that was like the fifth thing he stated, the diet for my cat Spot, and star charting, applying the right amount of pressure to your lips. And she's like, "I'm glad I was in there somewhere."
Well,
And
Data was a player, man. He was with Tasha, and then he had a girlfriend.
yeah, he didn't try for Tasha. Tasha got him.
Yeah, Tasha
I
got
know,
him
man.
because she was infected with something.
I know
And
that.
She also
that-
didn't
that-
have anything
yeah.
with batteries in it, so you know.
Yeah, so she's
That's not even the point, though.
And of course, that's also one of the best lines by Data, when Picard is like, "You're an android. How can you be infected?" And he says the line from Shakespeare, but alters it to, "If you if you
prick me, do I not leak?"
Yeah.
Do I not leak? That's it.
Yeah.
Do I not leak?
Well, that's the thing, because they gave him. He has chemical systems as well, which allowed him to, which keeps his
Positronic,
neural net
it's a
functioning.
positronic neural network.
Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way, that was a really nice buzzword when Isaac Asimov came up with it. But the truth is, positrons explode when they hit matter. So
Yeah, because they're antimatter.
Yeah, so an actual positronic neural network doesn't work.
What did you see what Soul Assassin? He said
As far as we know now, because science changes things.
He said a few years back they had to shut down a computer program because it developed its own language and started talking with other programs.
That is also that's a false interpretation of what was happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they actually programmed another computer program to figure out what it was saying, and it determined it was gibberish.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just saw
Or
what it was.
gibberish, as we
It was
know
just
it.
a collapse. That's the other part too. Like the current software algorithms that they're using for AI will never allow it to become self-aware. It will get very, very close to replicating what self-awareness is, but it will never be able to be as self-aware as the rest of us.
Yeah, that's why we call it the singularity, because it's beyond what we can imagine. It's something we can't replicate.
The act of reaching it is called transcendence too. So
Awesome one said that was the Cecil and EVS AI.
We're back down to 22 watching. This has been really bizarre.
Listen, if there's like weird bot spamming or clean out, then it's better to have the lower numbers than the high ones, because that'll screw around with your.
Yeah.
This is the thing that freaks me out. If they're bots, why are we not getting any down likes?
Bots don't do any of the likes or downvotes.
Oh, they don't.
Nope.
Okay,
They just
I thought
watch.
that was-
They just watch and
That's really weird.
Yep.
We're talking about artificial intelligence, and that shit happens.
the bots are watching.
To me, it actually seems more likely like instead of an actual AI ever attaining sentience, it'll probably be a virus.
It would be
Simply
Westworld. It would be Westworld, the original
basically.
Westworld, not the HBO crap, but the real one.
Right, the original.
I'm going to point out something that Keith and I talked about at lunch was that, and I'm wanting to do an episode. One of the guys I work with is a ufologist, and I'd like to do an episode of TGIF that's all about UFOs and all the shit that's happened over the last 10
love
years.
that. Yeah.
And
you have fun with that.
but I'm fascinated that because they've been working on. I mean, the Russians had their own space force out since the early '90s that we know
Actually,
about.
since the 1940s.
I only know about their announcement in the '90s.
Oh,
after the fall of the wall, we found out about they announced that they had a space force, and so for us to finally have one announced in 2019, I'm like, why did it take so long?
Well, we had
And,
Space Command, which is actually something that's the exact same as Space Force, but it's
So
now we have two of the exact same departments.
What I pointed out though was that I think that there is correlation, and I often don't like correlation as causality. But in this one, there's a really weird correlation between the announcement of that and the DoD, admitting, those UFOs are real.
Well,
And
yeah, because they're not necessarily alien; they're just unidentified objects.
we don't know what they are. We don't know.
Yeah.
They could be from an alternate, what do you call it? Universe where they slip through.
Well, I mean, that's one theory. The most common one is that there are, as weird as it sounds, there are other countries that have developed some very impressive drone technology, large scale drone technology. Even the Jet Propulsion Laboratories in Florida. Like I used to date a girl that worked there, and she showed me the flying saucer that had 360-degree point turn. Like it had it had 360 little jet like air pressure jets around the ring, and they went on the z-axis, both up and down, and then on the x-axis out, and it would be able to be programmed so precisely that it can make moves that no normal vehicle could ever make, because it had basically 360 times 2, so 1020 points of
this
movement.
is what Bob Lazar talked about, was that basically the way this works is that it warps the everything around it, and it very similar to what they talk about in Star Trek with warping, is that
it's a displacement field. So basically,
it's displacement.
It's in our universe, but the universe does not see it or recognize, and therefore the laws of physics that we know them to be do not apply to the object,
which is why we can't explain what the fuck they're doing. Because I'm watching this show. I watch this show, The Skinwalker Ranch. One of my favorite physicists is on that show, and he's like, "What the fuck are we looking at?" Because 3 times on the show, they're talking, and all of a sudden this thing shows up in the air, shiny, reflective, and then it just disappears. It didn't move. At least not that the camera or they could see. It just, boom, it's there, and then it's gone. It's fucking weird shit over Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch always been weird, man.
Well, I always thought it was like a monster thing, but the fact is, the more you look into it, you realize, no, this is something else. Extraterrestrial to alternate universe shit.
Yeah.
There's something funky going on.
I think there's I think, and this is what this go back to comics. I think there was a little bit more of reality in comics than people actually think about Flash going from one world, and the vibration barrier and Wally, and I think maybe there was a little bit more realistic stuff in comics than we thought.
Well, here the part of the thing is, like, Kirby and a lot of the other comic book guys from way back in the day had correspondence with all of the best sci-fi authors, who also had some of the correspondence with doctors, researchers, and other learned people. That's why stuff was written better back then.
Yeah.
Star Trek episodes were written better, comics were written better, and everything, because it had more of a scientific background, because people were interested, fascinated, and more invested in science and science fiction.
Yeah.
Whereas today, the movement has kind of been further and further away from science, where we're disputing science and stuff.
Science fiction back in the 40s, 50s, and even going into the 60s.
Yeah.
But once we hit the 70s, there was this, it started becoming more and more complicated to where, because I grew up reading all those magazines, including Popular Mechanics. I'd sit there with my dad, but as much science fiction as I read a lot about engineering and all that stuff. But now today, it's like, it's all, like a whole different level of shit. We talk about how the string theory isn't really a theory anymore. It's something that's still used in school, but and I think it was you, Script Doctor, that I talked to about this, because you were talking about how they had changed that, and now string theory is irrelevant, really.
Pretty much.
And that's the thing too, is I bet Script could probably confirm whether or not this is true. But I'm imagining most of today's writers, including the science fiction writers, comic book writers, et cetera, have less of an understanding of actual science.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience so far, yeah, that's been the case.
So maybe that's why science fiction is kind of not good these days.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we've got a bit of a debate going on in the chat between Greg and Mr. Tickle Trunk.
The New World Order. Uh-oh.
But Script, I agree, man. Like, so it's just.
Let's everybody be real respectful in the chat. I don't want to see anybody fighting in there. It's just we're having fun.
Don't make us have to come there and spank somebody. So
or maybe do.
Yeah, they probably like it.
But science fiction is
this is my sad
where
face.
we get to dip our toe into what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I grew up always just loving science fiction. I was not a fantasy fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but science fiction was that was my mainstay.
And that's why you suck at Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I hate Dungeons and Dragons.
See,
it's like I'm very what is it? Pragmatic. I'm very I'm so inarticulated when it comes to fantasy, and I'm just like, all right, I get it. But you get into science fiction because Star Wars is the closest thing to fantasy I ever really enjoyed because it mixed just enough science fiction into it to, really engage me.
I've actually always posited that that Star Wars is the original is more of a martial arts film than anything else, but
it's definitely a fantasy martial arts. Yeah,
it's sword and sorcery.
Script, did you see? I was looking at somebody's channel the other day. They're actually trying to make real lightsabers now. Script.
Oh, they've been trying to make real lightsabers for a long time. Usually,
there's this one channel that I subscribe to. They actually made the hilt and everything, and it was plasma, and they could like change the height of it and everything, but at one point it was really freaking cool. I wish I could remember what it was. Yeah, so I was just like, that's pretty freaking sweet, man. Like, and I love this, and that's the reason why I love Star Trek and Star Wars and all other science fictions, because it's the world of the possible. There's some stuff sounds impossible.
I just did a quick mock-up of the thing I saw from my ex-girlfriend who worked at JPL. So this is what they made. It's a flying saucer. This is a thruster up here. That's a thruster up there, and there's a thruster down here. And it's like, this is just 36, but they had 360 of them. And because they can fire all at once, they can go into any orientation, just like how I'm moving this around. And then inside was like a giant fan. I just didn't animate that. That kept it aloft. But it could go in any direction. And the thing, it would behave in a way that any pilot would say no normal machine would fly that they ever see.
Monkey Jeebus says that's an LED drone.
Well, this thing here was about the size of a car when I saw it. It was pretty huge.
Well, think of how long ago was that, Script?
8.5 years ago.
So in 8 years, it's probably shrunk.
It's obsolete already.
Yeah.
Oh, most likely, yeah.
Most obsolete or like shrunk. So either or.
Both.
Yeah. No one could fit inside. It was all remote. They had like cables running to it. They had a fuel pump line. And yeah, it just went up and it spun around and went all different shapes. It could stop on a dime and make a 90-degree turn and everything, like a right angle turn. It was freaky. But yeah, when you have so many thrusters in all those directions, they all compensate for each other with mathematically, like by a computer. It can move in ways that you think would be impossible within an atmosphere.
Pretty cool.
Fascinating, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown away by this because again, like, the reason we were dating is because we both love science fiction. Like, she got into it on the engineering side of things, I got into it on the writing, and just one of the jobs I was working on hooked me up with her. And
then there was that whole sex thing that was pretty good too.
Yeah, and then there's that.
And there's that.
And then and then she got onto a new project, and I went back to Canada, and we just kind of lost touch.
That's sad,
Hey,
dude.
awesome one. I want to point out that on Skinwalker Ranch, one of the things that they were talking about is the fact that all the different religions talk about tonal, sounds that have an impact on reality.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought out a rabbi who's a regular on History Channel, and he was doing a Jewish incantation, singing, and they were taking a thermal read of the woods around them. And immediately when he started doing it, there was a shift in temperature and pressure in the immediate area that they had never seen before. And it had that physicist just going nuts. He's like, what the fuck?
I've always
And
said sound was the key to basically everything.
Yeah, it's fascinating. They just in the last decade they were really doing research on Stonehenge, and its design was specific not for just light but for sound.
Yeah,
because sound works a specific way within that. Now, I don't know about how far that goes, because I'm an atheist, but I find that shit interesting because I think that a lot of what we read in all the different religious texts is just a misunderstanding of something advanced. And yes, I'm an, what do they call that? The alien thing theorist, that we're seated here. And my beliefs stems straight from the the Fox P2 protein and how it is in like all these different animals, but hit a specific level in humans. It suddenly showed up and changed everything, but really only for humans, which allows us to develop a speech center.
I've always been a big fan of Sitchin. So.
I just think that any type of counter theory that diminishes human ingenuity is silly. Like we're a pretty impressive species. Why would we diminish that by saying we had to have help by aliens when, in most cases, you would think either two aspects: an alien society would either integrate with ours and be a part of our history, blatantly so, or they would conquer us and we would be slaves and.
There's no telling if that's not what happened, but in the Indian text, there was a great war in the sky. So that the theory is that
we were
they
just
left.
witnesses of it.
We witnessed this great thing, and we're just like, we benefited from these guys, learned some things from them. We built everything. I think we built everything based off of what we saw.
Could have. I mean, the Great War you could have seen would have been asteroid collisions too.
Yeah,
it'd be like Ewoks watching the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really kind of what we are. We're Ewoks watching the Death Star during that. The Zathras. I can't say those words. I'm really
Zathras.
I can't say those words from all the text. I have trouble pronouncing Indian words.
Oh yeah.
And it bugs me. I'm not even going to try because I'm just going to look stupid. But I really do. Man, we're already over an hour. Keith has left for the evening. His brother showed up. I told him to bring his brother on. I'd like to get his twin brother on the show. But yes, that's the word. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Zarathustra. Yeah, fuck it. I'm not trying again. I used to have trouble saying. I couldn't even say Woolworth as a kid. I'm still having trouble saying it.
I used to say Woolworth.
Stay out of the Woolworth.
Woolworth. I sound like I'm drunk. Woolworth. Or I've got, I got the gel that you put in for a toothache. It's all in my mouth. I can't talk. Woolworth.
I used to love Woolworth, and we don't have it anymore. Man, like I used to love that place. Yeah,
I mean, they opened. Woolworth opened Woolco, and Woolco was the first Walmart.
Yeah.
Before Walmart came along, Walmart killed both of them.
Yeah.
And Ben Franklin's. Although I've seen a couple of Ben Franklin's. Still
Do you know
alive.
in Australia they still have Woolworth over there? They still have them.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, I have somebody that I have a friend of mine that works there, and Lethal told me that they still had them too. So did Rhino and Linden. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's
so,
interesting.
yeah.
All right, derailed again. Let's circle back. Let's do a wrap up on Elon Musk.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll go through
Who
each
did
one
his
of you.
hair?
What
You
if
know,
he has a
it's like-
computer brain and that's just not his hair? And it's
Proof
just
of
glitter?
of just how money hungry that Amber Heard is. She fucked him. So
Yeah.
But who's the
But,
father of her recent baby?
it's, God, I don't
Hey,
know.
hey,
It's not Johnny.
come on
Johnny's
now.
been fucked around enough by that bitch.
Okay, look, be honest now. Amber Heard, come on, she's not hard on the eyes. If you had a chance, you would.
No, crazy.
No,
is-
I don't dig chicks like her at all.
Well, I mean, now that you know about her, you wouldn't.
No, even
but if
before,
you
I
didn't,
didn't think she was good looking. I didn't like her.
No, she was kind of plain and average, but the thing is, like, she's always had those crazy eyes, and you
Yeah,
could
the
just
crazy eyes always show up, brother. Like,
Yeah, it's like she was trying to look like a certain actress. I'm going to say actress instead of actor because I don't want to confuse everybody. A female actress that is a big star that just had a flop. And she's been trying her ass off to look like her. And I think that's fucking crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
And do you guys know who I'm talking about? I hope so.
Is she married to a terrible comedian?
Black Widow.
Yeah.
His.
So Colin Jost. Yeah, Colin Jost is married to her.
Yeah.
Terrible comedian.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's really there. He's there to take care of her kids so that she can go out and do work and sleep around.
That's got to be it, because that's not that makes no sense.
No,
to me.
she is
It's
married. She's
illogical.
married. I think she's on her. I think he's the third husband. So like she's pretty much tracking to try and be this century's Elizabeth Taylor.
Script, I thought it was the second husband.
Nope, she was.
There's a third one?
Yeah, Colin Jost is the third one. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she is a sociopath. Clearly, when you watch interviews with her, I get that vibe from her all the time that she's faking her feelings.
Yeah.
She lacks empathy.
Yeah, so Scarlett was originally
She
married
would
to Ryan
fail
Reynolds
the
for a
VK
couple of
test.
years.
Uh-huh.
And then Roman Durak, who is the father of her current child. And now Colin Jost is taking care of that kid while she has some, legal issues with Disney and, trying to get work elsewhere and partying around. Like, she has a reputation.
Here's something we can go out on right here. That the VK wouldn't work on a sociopath. They would fail.
Yeah, they would be mistaken as a replicant, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they would.
Well done, Philip K. Dick.
Basically, that's what he's saying is like, oh yeah, replicants, they're just sociopaths. They're not real humans.
They're just sociopaths. They intermix. They're just the same thing. It's okay. Kill them.
One lives longer than the other, so it's okay to retire them.
I have one of my best friends, Jim Woodward, who helps produce the show. He's borderline sociopath, and he's where he belongs in doing shit for the military.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad that he's cognitive enough to get into the military. I joke with my girlfriend because she has to represent one of these businesses where the employees are so dumb they would never make it in the military. Like the military would just reject them on principle. It's like we cannot train.
He's very functional. Like Sherlock Holmes type thing. High IQ,
non-violent, high useful, high functioning sociopath.
Jim can be very fun. I grew up with him as a best friend. I can tell you that we fought all the time. I watched him beat the shit out of one of our mutual friends because he fucked with his brother. But he's very dedicated. He's, and that was it. Mike Beatty, him and I were like a holy trinity of friendship. We absolutely stuck up for one another. I threatened to shoot a guy for Mike Beatty. I'm like, you bring your friends with you, I will fucking shoot you. And that's what I said to the guy. And people are like, I think he means it. But that's dedication to friends to make sure they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
But what do you say? I'm so glad I don't even know who Just is.
Hey,
Colin
Script,
Just is not worth it.
Did you see what Soul Assassin did, Script? Said, didn't Pete Davidson hook up with Kate Beckinsale?
I know they were caught going to a baseball game or a basketball game a while back.
I fucking hate that kid. I hate him.
Oh,
yeah.
Funny.
Lauren Green has some sort of affection for the guy.
Yeah, he's a snarky little prick. It just, God, I fucking hate that guy.
Which one?
Yeah. It's like he wrote on the coattails of his dad dying on 9/11.
Who?
That was how he started his stand-up bit. Yeah, how
He
depressing
did.
it was to
was.
be a kid who grew up without a dad.
He used the death of his dad to build.
I sound like
his
a
career.
fucking owl. Who?
Like what a scumbag!
Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson. Oh God,
Yeah, from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Oh, he's horrible.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought you were talking about Patton Oswalt. I can't stand that fucker either. But
And you can tell when you can tell when there are fucking crazy lefties in charge, when you start seeing some of these assholes really being pushed to the public. Pete Davidson's one of them. You watch. We're going to see the same thing with Kathy Griffin again. She'll be recycled. You watch. But that fucking guy, whatever his name, the God, his show. I mean, when you say these exact words, with all humility, TV needs me. It's like you just contradicted yourself. You are absolutely an arrogance. With all humility, fuck you, you liar.
Who said that?
Comedian something the God. And
I've never heard of any comedian that wanted to. That
Comedy Central has lost its fucking mind.
Oh,
it doesn't
yeah,
understand
they
comedy
lost
anymore.
it a long time ago, brother.
They used to have real fucking comedians on there, edgy, and now they just get these woke fuckers on there, and it's like, I've had enough of you guys. Fuck off. They're not funny. They don't understand comedy. They don't want to go over any lines.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we can't say that. That'd be rude.
And it's not comedy.
Yeah, it's not comedy, man. You got to be
comedy.
like,
You need to step over some fucking lines to be funny.
Well, I mean, the court jester was the only one that the king couldn't kill.
Carlin was like that.
He
Robin was
criticized
like
the king
that. They
all the
went over
time.
lines. Yeah, they went over lines, man.
You had guys like, even if I didn't politically agree with them, I loved Norm Macdonald. I loved Dennis Miller.
Yeah.
Oh shit. What's her name from Saturday Night Live that did the news for a while? I thought she was hilarious. Tina Fey. I fucking loved her on the show.
Tina Fey agree with her politics, but yeah, she was.
Jane Curtin was amazing back in the day.
That was even funny on the show. And then they left, and then they got these two idiots on there that just don't know how to be funny at all. It's like, God, it just went downhill really quick. Saturday Night Live. Stupid.
Well, the other part too is sometimes they try to replicate the Conan O'Brien model. So Conan O'Brien went to Harvard, and he's actually a really funny guy and self-deprecating, and he wrote some of the best Simpsons episodes ever. And he also worked on Saturday Night Live, and because of his education and background, it did well for the show during that period. They said, "Oh, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to hire Ivy League English writers to be comedians." And it's like that's not how it works. Like the Ivy League aspect is really just a form of dedication to the craft. But if they're not actual comedians, then you're not getting the quality of work that you want out of them. And that is shown in droves.
Here you go, Script. I wrote this last night. Let me share it real quick. And I made the joke yesterday on TGIF. I'll do it again. Just kidding. It made me giggle. I plan to start writing Amish science fiction where they wear buttons and drive cars. And any Amish who are offended by that joke, all I can say is, what the hell are you doing on the internet?
Dude, I was laughing at that joke yesterday. That made me giggle.
That's not bad. I mean, the other part too is like it's the Amish do have
the first part's kind of funny. It's like, oh yeah, buttons and fucking cars. That's Amish science
zippers,
fiction.
wouldn't it? It'd be
zippers are proud too. Buttons,
hooks.
But then it's like the thing is though, it's like any Amish who are offended by that, what the fuck are you doing on the internet?
Well, no, that I know many comedians that love to tell Amish jokes is like they're not watching.
Yeah, they're not watching.
Yeah.
Which is true. But the other part too is that Amish have that a tradition where their children can go off for a year to experience the outside
Yeah,
world.
what is that called?
I can't remember.
Spring something. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but there's a Mennonite community that did that. The
Rumspringa.
Yeah,
Rumspringa.
They did that about 3 hours north of my hometown, and they'd always end up coming into our town, and they were actually really fun, delightful people, and they never stayed. They're like, nope, I'm going back, because once they saw like taxes and all the other stuff that we have, they're like, no, we don't want that, but we'll go. We're fine without the technology. We made it this far. We can go back, and yeah, it's. But the thing is that they take back a lot of knowledge with them. Like they know how to build and fix current day stuff. They can if they have to. They just don't live and rely on it. That's the big difference. But if you were to do like something like a space Amish, that would be pretty cool.
Space Amish would be. I think that'd be pretty cool.
A wooden spaceship that's secure enough and finely crafted that can travel through the stars.
It's crafted out of like organic stuff.
Like they could carve a wooden. They could carve
going out of the ship and dying.
Oh no, they would figure out the pressurization stuff and.
Did you ever buy that Amish heater that they had on TV? I bought one of those.
No, like they just build a giant trebuchet and then launch themselves into space that way.
Actually, that does make sense.
It's fucking funny. I like it. But let's circle back around. Let's end the episode talking about Elon. Each person. Let's start with you, T-shirt. Elon, is he a genius or a madman?
Well, I would say Elon is a very forward-thinking man with a shitload of money, so he can afford to back geniuses. He's, this is a guy whose personal fortune could have beaten out Bezos so many times if it weren't for the fact that he continues to pour so much money into space travel, research, and all these other things. Interestingly enough, though, down here in Texas, they have Star City that they're setting up for his launch platforms and stuff.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, the locals around that area actually don't want it because with Star City and all the Elon bringing in all that stuff, it's not actually it's raising the prices on everything around it. It's kind of like whenever we had the oil boom here, and the towns of Odessa and Midland got overrun with oil field workers and oil field work. And it drove the prices on everything up because they knew that the oil field workers had shitloads of money, so they would start charging them more and more for rent, housing, food, and everything else. The same thing is happening over in Star City. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, he's trying to do.
Answer Mr. Tickle Trunk. Yes, he did. Keep going. I'm sorry, T-shirt.
Yeah. So he's trying to do good things. It's costing him a lot of money. I don't necessarily know if I would think he was a genius so much as he's touching geniuses and is able to fund
Well, he's
them.
a lot like what's his name? The competitor to Edison.
Richard Branson?
Yeah.
No, the competitor to Edison.
Nikola Tesla?
No. Tesla worked with him. I can't think of his name. Oh my God.
You're talking about Edison?
No, I said Edison.
Okay.
He's a competitor with him. He got shut down by Edison.
Morgan.
JP Morgan, thank you. JP Morgan didn't take credit for things.
No, because he didn't do anything. He was the money.
Him. He was the money, and he would hire these people and give them full patent credit for the stuff they invented for him. And in the end, there's more items from him in the average household than there is from Edison.
Yeah, actually, Edison really just has a couple of things by comparison.
Yeah.
JP Morgan was a financier, backer, and also
JP
distributor.
Morgan was the guy who financed all of it.
Yeah.
The person, God damn it, I'm just gonna look. Because they just made a movie about him and Edison.
Yeah, the current war.
Yeah.
Well, the current war, that was from the World's Fair. That was with regards to the World's Fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was where the war really began. Westinghouse.
Oh,
George Westinghouse.
Is who I'm talking about. And Morgan destroyed Westinghouse because he did something that's illegal to do today. You can't do it. A bank can't do it. He called on a note early for full payment. And that caused his name Westinghouse.
Would you like me to tell this story?
He was so broken by the whole thing that when he died, his employees funded his memorial.
It was a little bit even. It was even more than that. Part of the thing was.
Well, we don't need to go into the whole thing. I just really wanted to point out that.
God damn it.
Basically, Elon is because you and I would love to go on about this, but
the historian wanted to tell the story.
Oh hell yeah! Especially when it involves Tesla, because anything Tesla, I'm on it.
Yeah, and Westinghouse was far better at what he did than Edison, and Edison was a dishonest, disingenuous fucker,
piece of shit.
And
Edison was a hack, man.
Outright thief. And Tesla is why the light bulbs worked.
Yes.
For the current war. And I have not seen that movie. I need to watch it.
I'm not just talking about the current war. But
I don't like Shannon playing the part of Westinghouse. That pissed me off.
Why? He did a good job. He did a great job. Good
He's
movie.
Good at bad guys, good at fucked up dudes. I didn't
Shannon's
like
a great actor.
The trailers.
Period.
Great at certain things. He's not great at everything. The guy is horrible at comedy. And there's something, he's always looks fucking scary. He looks like he's about to fucking stab you in the face.
Because he has no bottom lip, that's why.
Yeah, he just always looks horrifying. So I'm trying to sit there and watch a sympathetic character, an interesting character like Westinghouse on the trailer. And I'm like, they got him to Westinghouse? What the fuck?
Well, they did get JP Morgan's characterization pretty correct because he had rosacea all around his nose pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had skin problems. But I love Westinghouse. He's absolutely a hero of mine.
Yeah,
and he proved, that you can give your employees a goddamn living wage and still make fucking money. Because he focused on making sure they got paid first before the investors and himself.
Well, not only that, he kind of knew the same thing that Henry Ford knew, which is that my employees are going to be buying this stuff too, so I better make sure that they can afford to buy it and also want to buy it.
Bam.
And there's a big difference to that.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, I just told her.
Oh, sounds like Zilla's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. All right, script doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk. Madman or genius?
Yes.
I'm muting him.
The most easiest answer is yes. He's a madman and genius.
He's a madman and a genius.
He's reckless too. I mean, that's the other part. And
I think guys who invest in technology need to be a little reckless.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the recklessness with regards to the investments and the things that he's doing. I think it's the direction that he's going is what's reckless. He's basically learned nothing from Jeffrey Goldblum's speech in Jurassic Park. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. It's like you got to explore it more. And that's actually like the fascinating thing of Jurassic Park is that it's basically STEM versus corporatized STEM. So like you have Alan Grant and his friend. They're paleontologists. They're scientists. They're doing digs and research for the love of the profession and getting funded by either grant programs, universities, what have you. Same thing with Jeff Goldblum's character. And then they're taken away by this private company that has hired scientists right at school to do specific things. So those scientists are not in it for the science so much as they are in it for the paycheck. So there's like that ethical divide. And that's kind of the versus thing, because the scientists that are in for themselves, that are there to try and be convinced by the park owner that this is a good idea, are saying, no, this is not a good idea because you're abusing the thing that we love. And that's like, and then the park goes crazy because again, when you abuse something that for profit as opposed to for exploration, things go bad. And
right.
what Elon here is demonstrating, especially with the AI stuff, is that he just wants to do it to see if it can be done. He doesn't care about, and he knows of the ramifications,
Yeah,
but he doesn't care.
It's exactly because you're talking about the line from Jurassic Park where he says, "Your scientists, are too busy asking if something can be done rather than asking if it should be done."
And that's actually the biggest issue with scientists that are hired for a private company versus ones that are exploring stuff on their own volition. And not to say that they can't explore something terrible on their own volition, they can. But the thing is that when you have a corporate mandate saying we need to achieve this specifically, more often than not, especially because scientists don't often find themselves in financially secure situations, they will just do it to do it because they've got bills to pay, they've got families. It's basically a labor job of the mind essentially, and it's can be abused just like anything else. And that's probably very reflective onto what's going on now in the current day as well. But yeah, with Elon Musk, he's this guy who's got enough income and he's making a lot of money as well to explore these ideas, but he's kind of running before he can walk in some regards. And he presents himself as a faux philosopher with regards to these explorations because he's like, oh, maybe we're all in an AI system. It's like possibly, but that's not the point that we're concerned about. We're concerned about creating something that could potentially make humans disposable or non-essential or the majority of our population disposable and non-essential, which would be evil. I mean, he's all for UBI. I'm like, UBI is not going to solve problems. It's actually going to make more problems. What you really kind of want to do is you want to create an infrastructure that allows the individual to pursue what they want with passion and achieve the most potential they possibly can. And you don't do that with a default support system. You do that with several pathways of opportunity that can allow them themselves to achieve those points in their life. So yeah, that's why I'm not for that type of thing. It's like the money you could invest in UBI, you could do in systems that would actually allow an individual to say, you know what, I want to explore this subject and see if I can make money on it. And then you let them go. And it's up to them to achieve it. It's not up to everyone else to make sure they do it. And that's kind of the best way you can go with things. But no, Elon Musk is both crazy and a genius.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's where I'm at. I think that he's a little of both. I want to thank everybody for being here. I guess Rebecca left already, but I need to talk to her because I want to have her on next Friday doing a live tattoo on the show. I want to thank everybody on the panel. Zax, who's been running the chat, script director. I'm so glad you came, man. It's like, dude, when you or White Keith aren't around, I start really missing you fuckers.
I want Script Doctor on my show, but he never makes it.
Listen, my work right now is in a really weird position at the moment because we don't know if we're going to be still operating by the end of the month. So if I end up becoming unemployed, I will definitely be around more
available.
Come on now, they're not going to close down Hollywood.
Oh no, I'm not talking. No, this is my day job. This is a government funded publishing program, which certain mandates get passed, which those mandates will actually compromise the health of the owner of the company. It would end up being inadvertently dissolved, and everyone would be out of a job. So we're really hoping that doesn't happen, but we're trying to figure that out.
I hope so. I don't want to see you without work. I'd love to have you on more, but I don't want to see you out of work.
Yeah.
But thanks, Zach, script director. I'm so glad you're here. T-shirt, thanks for showing up, buddy. Jed is dealing with his dog. Thanks for showing up, man. Tim Possible, awesome one. Mr. Tickle Trunk, Monkey Jeebus, and let's see, Parrot Head, Soul Assassin. Let's see, was CJ here today? I don't know if he showed up today. Greg, of course, he already left. I'm not seeing CJ. I don't know if he showed up. Rebecca, of course. Stephen Otten. Gosh, I'm going through the list of who showed up, and I want to make sure I thank every Soul Assassin. Did I mention him already? Martin Acosta Santana. Thanks for showing up. It was a great show. Weird on our numbers today. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to keep checking back to see what the hell happened and see what our final tally is. Because I hope I wasn't, bot attacked. That's like really weird. And it's a weird show to be bot attacking.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely at YouTube and be like, can you look into this for us? Something's up. Because as long as you bring it to their attention, then they know that you're not messing around with their system, and you can be like, listen, I think there's something.
I'm not sure exactly how it started up, but I'll do what I have to make sure that we don't get shut down. But I want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you, Rebecca, for the super chat. Basically, it was a fun episode. I really enjoyed this. I don't know about you guys. It was a lot of fun.
It was awesome, dude. Yeah. I like talking about stuff like this, man. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. This is, adventures between real life and Blade Runner. So I always enjoy it. With that, I'm going to play this quick video for everybody, and then I'll do our outro.
He say you Blade Runner.
Tell him I'm eating.
Hell yeah, I love that scene. With that, I guess we're out of here. Where's my outro video? There it is.
Got one thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Can I?
Yeah, buddy.
Got one thing. All right.
You're back, Jed.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing too before I leave.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead,
let T-shirt go.
T-shirt, you go.
All right. Gary, I know you know our friend Grim.
Yes.
Okay, Grim just got out of the hospital. He's at home. He's convalescing, but he's kind of down for the count for a while. Yeah, his hypertension was so bad that literally his vision was being impaired and various other things. He posted a really good video up on his channel about his current illnesses and everything. So if you
Please,
watch my channel,
send him well wishes. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you are a fan of my channel, if you're a fan of Gary's, please go to Grim's channel. Please, give him some well wishes, give him a little bit of love because he needs us right now.
He always has something interesting. He always has, even if I don't agree with it, I still am intrigued by everything he says. Yeah. Such a cool dude. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm gonna message him after the show. What else do you have to say, buddy?
That's it.
Anything else? Oh, that's it. All right, Jed. What the fuck do you want to talk about before we go?
No, I just want to say, and I've been doing this for Snow Dove the whole day. Tonight, for the first time in about a month and a half, the Cotton Connection comes back. So I just wanted to bring that. Drunk 3PO may be on there and some other people. So, so
very cool.
Just wanted to say that. Over on Snow Dove's channel, everybody. So.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jed. Glad you got back and didn't have to kill your dog. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Are we caught up with the chat, or is
looks
Zach,
like it?
Are we caught up?
Mm-hmm.
Are you caught up? Are we caught up? Okay, I just want to make sure we're caught up. All right. With that, here's our outro video. My favorite.
Goodbye, Chocolate Mousse. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Ducroix. Take care of yourself. Goodbye, Deja Vu. I'll always remember you. And I'll miss you most of all, Gare.